Hey, good day, everyone. I want to appreciate every one of us for joining this program. It's been such a wonderful time of the year, to kick off a wonderful program like this. And I want to say Happy New Year to everyone because this is our first program for the year 2026. And we want to thank God for His love and mercies over our lives as young people in our lives all through the year 2025. It has been the mercies of the Lord that has kept us, and it is because of it that we are not consumed. So, because His compassion fails not, so we really appreciate God for that. Now, for the sake of a new year, I'll be saying this. This is Kingdom Mental Shift, and Kingdom Mental Shift is a youth platform, focused on challenging our minds to become great. We believe that greatness begins with a great paradigm. Meanwhile, all we do is aimed, settled on the Word of God. This is our solid foundation. This year we'll be kicking off on a very vital topic, which says mountains of influence. Because we're going to all be great and influential, we need to look at a topic like this for a start of a wonderful year. So, the first thing we'll be looking at this day is what are mountains of influences. And before we dive right into that, I'll be saying that if you join us for the first time, you're welcome once again. You're supposed to follow through to the end, and let's like this video, let's share to others so that they can be blessed. Let's subscribe so that we can always get notified whenever we're doing programs. And let's put down comments of things that we learn during the session. But then for a start, we can just put down where we are watching from, where your name and where you're watching from. That will be a beautiful one. Just put it in the comment section, or the live session, any of the two. So we move on. What are mountains of influence? Mountains of influence, these are spheres of life and influence which are responsible for shaping and molding of ideologies and civilization in every society. It controls men and their activities on earth. These are the prime shapers of people's belief and mindset in a world, in a community. Whatever way you see people believe, whichever way they act, it is being molded as the result of the mountains of influence that is shaping the ideologies. And we need to really check out all these mountains of influences so that we'll be able to control our beliefs and get responsible for our ideologies so that I won't get things wrong. I won't also get things wrong for our children. So we moving on, because of our time, we want to just make sure that we spend like 30 highest 40 minutes. So we'll be dishing out the different mountains of influences. There are 7 mountains of influences that we're going to be talking about today. And the first mountain of influence that we have right here is religion. Religion. What is religion? Or what is it about this particular mountain of influence? Religion, in this sense, is a sphere of influence that shapes the spiritual conviction of people across a territory. Everyone in a community believes in something. Even an atheist believes in himself. So we believe in things, we believe in a being, we believe in spirits, we believe that there is an invisible hand, we believe that there is another hand different from all these physical things and ephemeral things that we're seeing. We know that there is a hidden hand that makes things happen. So there is a tendency of having a spiritual conviction. So religion is a mountain of influence that has affected so many people. You see, in this particular mountain of influence, good men are needed in that sphere because people can do anything all in the name of religion. This is where pastors come in, evangelists, the teachers, the prophets, and the apostles, according to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11 in the Bible. And, every Sunday, there are so many people in church submitting themselves to all kinds of ideologies from various men of God or women of God. And, today, we have all kinds of attack that are sponsored by religious extremists. This is how much of influence this religion can bring about. Religion can bring about a force that defies territory, defies culture, defies every other thing any human being think he knows. It defies every other mountain of influence, defies families, defies a lot of things. And we need to understand that in Nigeria, for example, this week, over 150 persons, have been killed by religious extremists. That is how much of influence religion can make in a man. That's how much of influence religious can have on a person. This is grossly affecting the world. And so we need to invest as young people, we need to invest in giving our children, ourselves and our children, spiritual education so that we're able to create a sane spiritual society. If those guys that are killing people from house to house have been shown another religion or another way, they wouldn't have been killing people from house to house right now. So religion is a very strong, mountain of influence that needs to be conquered, that needs good men. Once there are bad people right there, it can cost a whole nation. Imagine United States of America trying to intervene in the situation. It is that bad. So we need to understand that religion is a very important sphere of influence that we need to pay attention to. So we need to understand that this mountain of influence affects our lives, affects everything we do, affects us. Some people are not even really serious, but they still go to church. Some people, just because they don't want to be the only one at home, they still go to church. One way or the other, this religion, this mountain of influence affects our lives because we tend to learn how we live our lives from there. So that is the first mountain of influence, religion. And if you have been following right here, if you've been following us, you can write things that you've learned. You can write anything in the comment section just so that I can know that we are following. You can just say, I'm following, I'm following, I'm following. Thank you so much. We go to the second mountain of influence that I'll be talking about this evening is the mountain of family. The mountain of family. This is a sphere of influence that is responsible for shaping the mindset of everyone on earth. You know why I said that? Because virtually everyone came from a family. Virtually everyone came from somewhere. People were given birth to, and sometimes might even be raised by another family. A lot of things happen, but family is another strong mountain of influence that affects our beliefs, that shapes our lives, that shapes the way we do things. It shapes our culture. The reason why some of us are Igbo, and some of us are Hausas, and some of us are Yorubas is because of the family we came from. For example, if I was given birth to in a Igbo land or by Igbo man or by an Igbo man, I would probably be an Igbo person. That's how much it has shaped my life. But then, Yoruba, because that was what I was given birth into. You don't get to choose your family at the end of the day. You will just see yourself being given birth to into a family. So almost everyone came from a particular family. And family is like the structure of the society. Family is a unit of society. Before we can say this is a society, that there must have been units of families coming together to form a society. So this is why the devil is attacking families by bringing up all kinds of subjects like, lesbianism and gays. Imagine two men raising a child. How is the child going to turn out to look like? The child will know everything about being masculine, but nothing about being feminine. It's going to give rise to lopsided, initiatives, lopsided mindsets in children. So there is an attack on this mountain of influence. Every armed robber came from a family. Every armed robber came from a family. Every national problem was first a regional problem that was not attended to. Every regional problem was first a community problem that was neglected. Every community problem was a family problem, that was ignored. So this is a very serious matter. And you know what? Every family problem was birthed by individuals who came together to form the family. So we need to take this particular mountain of influence seriously. And that is why if you are yet to be married, you need to really take a closer look of what you're about to do, because you would be contributing to the society. Be careful about who you marry, because you will be contributing to the societal influences on the earth. When you give birth to a child, you and your spouse are going to be raising the child. And whatsoever values and beliefs and ideologies that you have imputed into the child is what will be imbibed in the child. And the child will follow suit. The child will behave suit. And That is why you can imagine when a man starts beating up a woman, that boy that is beating up the girl has probably seen his father beating up his mother. And so we feel like, oh, this is how they do in our house. It makes it, we are masculine, we are men. Men, we have to deal with women. We have to torture them so that they can obey us. So imagine that kind of ideology. This shapes ideologies. This shapes generations because families transcends into generation. And then that same boy that has a lopsided view of life is also now a father. Many young boys of like 20 years ago are now daddies. You can imagine that. So that same boy that refused to get training or that refused to get the right training, what is he going to teach his child? What's he going to tell to his boy? Is he going to also tell his boy to beat any girl he sees around just to show how masculine he is? Is he going to tell a girl to disrespect every boy he sees just to show that they don't take nonsense? So the mountain of family is a very, very important mountain that we need to really pay rapt attention to so that we can understand that it actually influences our lives. It influences the way we do things. It influences everything we do. This is another vital sphere of influence. If you have followed us till now, I want to appreciate us for staying glued or staying with us online. It's an honor to be hosting us. And if you're just joining us, you can like the video, you can share it, you can subscribe, to our YouTube channel just so that you can always follow us. This is Kingdom Mental Shift. All right, we're moving to the next mountain of influence, which says the next mountain of influence is government and politics. Government and politics. This is another powerful mountain of influence that affects every nation. Every nation. And will in turn affect the world. Because the world are made up of nations. Remember, we have regions, we have continents, we have nations. And then for every nation there is a government and a political arm that is holding it. One demonic policy can shut down everybody's belief. One demonic policy can stop everybody, for example, in Nigeria, from going to church. One funny policy can stop every Muslim from going to the mosque. So we need to understand that the government is another sphere of influence, that if the government wants to cancel every religious activities, they can cancel it. They have the power. They control what happens. No matter how powerful or how wealthy anybody can be, the government can stop the person. All his wealth notwithstanding. That's how powerful this particular mountain of influence is. The success of a nation is the summation of the success of its leaders. The leaders determine if the nation is going to succeed or not. So this particular sphere of influence is a very vital one, and we need to take it as such. This is why we need good people in governance. We need good people in governance. I mean, good people in governance. Because if they are not in governance, If good people are not in governance, then there is a tendency to always have problem in the nation. No one enters politics on a neutral ground, because most likely you would have to fraternize with God or with the devil to be able to get things done, because they are powerful forces. Because of how important that mountain of influence is, there are powerful forces contending everybody in governance. So therefore, one has to just fraternize with God or the devil in order to get things done. You cannot sit on a fence. Do you know how many charms people do so that they can be elected into governance? It is a real part of it. And we would need politicians like Daniel. We need people who are filled with integrity like Joseph, Daniel, Joseph, who are ready to stand their ground, uncompromising with integrity, and quite very impactful, who are ready to stand at all costs to change systems and policies that will destroy lives. This mountain of influence is a very powerful one. It can disrupt any activity happening in a nation. For example, students' destinies can be hampered, it can be truncated. Somebody that's supposed to use 4 years might use 7 years if the government refuses to pay, workers' salary. And then they go on strike and scatter everywhere. So this mountain of influence is a very important one that can affect everyone, can change our ideologies, can change our view of things. It can make us not to trust again. For example, let me use Nigeria as an example. Discover that once there is a new president, the former president looks better than the new. For every time there's a new president, the former looks better than the new, because things keep getting rough, things keep getting bad. So we need to understand, and this shapes people's ideology to the extent that they don't even trust any other person that wants to come next. This is a very serious matter, and we need to really pay rough attention. That's why, as good people, we are encouraged to go into politics. If we have a purpose to be in any arm of the government, we can dive right there, and we believe that we'll get support, and even God is going to support us. All right, that's a good one right there. Thank you so much if you have been following us till now. I want to say again, if you're coming for the first time, this is Kingdom Mentorship, and we are talking about mountains of influences. And if you just joining us, you can just hit the subscribe button, you can share the video, and you can make sure to subscribe so that you can get notified, and also turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever we come online. All right, we move to the next mountain of influence. The next mountain of influence we're talking about is education. Education is another very powerful mountain of influence that we need to think or talk about. This is another sphere of influence that shapes and breeds intellectuals. This includes schools. Education includes schools such as universities, such as polytechnics, such as monotechnics, and colleges, etc. And whatsoever a child is being taught in school will likely stay forever. And this is a very serious matter that we need to take cognizance of, because There are all kinds of schools. There are all kinds of schools. And there are even all kinds of teachers. So many bad things have crept into the educational sector, and some children were very good, but as soon as they entered a higher institution, they turned bad because of the way the systems, the core values of their institution, this can really affect their ideologies. Many people have met a lot of good and bad people. All kinds of lecturers have infected or affected how young people accesses and sees life. A lecturer that is always a sadist can turn an innocent, young man to a sadist too, just because he feels that, oh, looks like this word is a hard word, and no matter how much I write, I always get F, and so no matter what anybody does too, they are failed. Imagine that kind of mindset. Just because a young man, encountered a particular kind of lecturer, or just because a young man got admitted in the forewall of a particular institution. This is a very serious subject. All kinds of things, exposure, to all kinds of topics and courses, that can either be used, for good or evil. It is a class that a young lady will go to, and you will feel like, oh wow, our lecturer said that there is no God, God is not real. So I think that's the end of everything. I don't believe there is God anymore. So it affects the life of people. It affects ideologies. You can bear me witness that there are a lot of things that you have no business encountering, but you encountered in school. The same way there are good things being encountered, there are also bad things being encountered. Education is a very powerful sphere of influence where minds are shaped and transformed. And it depends on whatever is being fed or dished out to the students. That is what they are going to become. What is child become is the summation or the cumulative result of the institution and the lecturer and the environment where this chap found himself. So we need to really understand that this particular sphere of influence, we also need good people to build schools. We need good people to build schools with good mission and good vision and good core values. While we also need good people to be employed as teachers so as to impute good ideologies in the minds of students. This is a very powerful subject. Education is a very important sphere of influence that we cannot joke with. So I'm talking to you now, so many people are trying to get admission into schools, trying to get scholarships into schools, home and abroad, and whatever school anybody goes to can actually affect their view of life. All right, let's quickly move to the next point. The fifth mountain of influence that we're talking about is media. Media is another eruptive and very important, mountain of influence that we will be talking about. Media means channel, a passage, a way a message is conveyed. This particular sphere of influence interprets things, whether good or evil. This includes news, includes social media, includes communication system, etc. It's a very powerful perception control tools that can make a good person look bad and a bad person look good. Whatever the media wants you to believe is what you believe. Media can cut a part of a video, cut it with the next, cut it with the next, just to make somebody look bad. They can also do the same thing just to make somebody else look good. That is the power of media for you. It controls the thoughts of men, controls their perception and their ideologies. Media can cause a lot of distraction. Media has been causing a lot of distraction for so many young people. Media wants you to believe whatever they want you to believe. So, and that is why we need good people in our media houses, because anything can be heard just so that you can get a wrong information. If something happens and it is not picked by the news, then you might never hear about it. Okay? So that is how powerful the media is. Social media is a very powerful tool, for example, that has kept young people distracted. While some other people are making a lot of money off other people's distraction. You can imagine that. So social media has a very powerful influence, a very powerful one. Social media has grown so much that even churches uses it. Churches have Facebook account, they have Twitter account, they have Instagram account, they have X account, they have threads account, they have TikTok account, just so as to convey the message. And trust me, they're reaching millions of people every day. So you can imagine, if somebody wants to sell an ideology, he can also sell it over the social media, which can in turn affect the way people see life. So in a world of trends, you can imagine all kinds of trends, happening. There was a trend of people, having sex under a red light. All kinds of challenges, all kinds of social media challenges where young people wants to also do likewise. A lot of people have lost their dignity just because they want to be in tandem or in line with social media. Social media is a very powerful tool that has been used either for good or for bad. And so, as young people, we need to take charge. We need good people in our media spaces so that everything can be good. This is another very powerful sphere of influence. All right, we'll be moving straight ahead to the next one, because of our time, to the sixth mountain of influence, which says art and entertainment. Art and entertainment is another sphere of influence, that controls the life of people. Art and entertainment it controls how people dress, controls their speech, controls how we celebrate success. It controls what we see as success. People, what we see as success, because of what we see in art and entertainment, and even the social media that we just talked about not long, is what celebrities show us. When a celebrity pack is show us the picture of his Lamborghini, that's a success to us. Show us a picture of his duplex, semi-detached, fully detached duplex, that is success to us. So art and entertainment is a very powerful mountain of influence, and it can include music, can include sports, can include films, and it can include culture. So all these things, this is where we have celebrities that affect the mind of so many young people. And this is also, very a very crazy place that can be used for good or for evil. The way some people dress today is because of the things they see online. There are almost no male that does not, there's almost no male that does not play football. So this is very influential, area of life, art and entertainment. There is almost no one that doesn't listen to music. Hardly no, whether good music or bad music. Musics will always be listened to. So whatever we listen to can affect our ideologies and shape our mindset. Some people, the way they behave is because of a movie they watched. Some people, what they say is because of a movie they watch or the song they listen to. It shapes their words, shaping their mindset, shaping their ideologies. So many people have turned bad just because of something they watch and listen to. So many young people who has no business gambling has now become full-time gamblers, just because a betting app was advertised while he or she is watching football. So, LGBT, has been introduced to almost every movie release within the last 2 years. This is very appalling. There's almost no movie release that you'd see a man and a man having something to do with themselves. You'll be wondering, the whole world has been injected. The same way it can be a force for good, it can also be a force for evil. And we have to understand that art and entertainment is another very serious sphere of influence that affects the ideologies of men. All right, you've been with us, since the beginning. I want to say thank you. And like I usually say, let's not forget to like, let's not forget to drop comments, don't forget to share, and let's not forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that we can always get notified whenever we have a program. All right, the last mountain of influence, remember it's a 7 mountain of influence. The last one we'll be talking about, because of our time, is business. Mountain of business. You see, this is a mountain that funds every other mountain. You see, this includes commerce, marketplace leadership. It includes finances. Business is a very crucial mountain of influence that run our day-to-day life. Whoever controls the economic flow controls the finances. Whoever controls the finances controls the loyalty of people within a territory. And we need to be empowered economically. We need to be empowered economically because it can affect every other area of our lives. It can affect every other area of our lives. If you do not have good finances, you cannot be influential. And it can affect your life, it can affect your thoughts, it can affect your thinking. So many people, just because they don't have a car, they wish somebody that has a car is dead. You can imagine that kind of mindset. Just because you are not running a successful business. So it takes economic empowerment to influence a territory. So without finances, a lot of people will not be able to achieve anything meaningful in life. And as young people, we need to be able to translate ideas into meaningful businesses, or enterprise. We need to try to create businesses ourselves, get educated on businesses, and put out businesses just so that we can also be a prime mover in the society. And once you are doing well business-wise, you'll be doing well financially. And once you are doing well financially, you'll be able to influence a generation. Instead of being influenced negatively, you'll be able to influence a generation positively. So as young people, we need to be able to feature in this mountain of influence, the mountain of business. This is a very crucial, very crucial mountain of influence. I hope that we've gotten a lot of things since the beginning of this program. I'll round up. Before I round up, if you have a question based on what we have been talking about, you can drop it in the comments, not the live session, the comment section. Just swipe to your left, you see the comment instead of putting it on the live, because the live session is going to disappear, but the comment section will stay there. If you have a question, you can drop it so that I'm going to answer it while I round up. For everyone on earth, your purpose can be traced to any of these mountains. You need to find out the mountain you're supposed to influence. I need to find out the mountain I'm supposed to influence and ask God to give me the grace so that I can fit in the right place. so that I can fit in a place where I can influence a territory with good ideologies. The whole idea of this topic is to transform a society by influence. The whole idea of this, session is to let us know that we can change a society. The same way society has been changing us, or has changed us, has formed our ideologies, all these mountain of influences have edited and ravaged the way we are thinking, change all our patterns and the way we do things. The same way we can come out strong and take charge of this mountain of influence and use it to our advantage and also influence others positively. And I hope that we're going to be doing that as we start the year. We're going to find where we fit in any of these mountain of influences, whether it is family, whether it is religion, whether it is business, whether it is media, whether it is art and entertainment, whether it is education. Anywhere we fit in, I hope that we'll be able to get a place to fit in and make sure that we do things correctly. All right, I want to appreciate us for joining from the beginning of the program, and I hope that we are blessed as we kick off the year on this wonderful note. I hope that we learned a lot of things. Whatever you think you've learned, you can drop it in the comment section so that I can see that we've learned something and we're following. And if you have questions, you can drop it right there on the YouTube comment section, or you can drop it in on our WhatsApp comment section. And if you want to join the WhatsApp channel, also you can, the WhatsApp group, you can also identify yourself so that we can send you the link so that you can join us on the WhatsApp community and ask any question you feel you want to ask. All right, thank you everyone for joining. I'd like to be rounding up now so that every other person who wants to watch later can also be able to watch. We don't want it to be a very long session. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. This is Kingdom Mentorship, and I hope we all have a wonderful day. Let's not forget to like the video, share it, drop a comment, and subscribe, and also hit the notification bell so that we can get notified whenever we come online. Let's all have a wonderful day. Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you all.